What is an old raspberry? A skins tournament. And finding God have in common? Stick around and find out. Hey guys, and welcome to the very first segment of the show. This is the music section. I'm in my music emporium now. Above me I have my record collection, and me and you are going to randomly pick a record that we're going to pick out and learn about. Now this collection itself comes from a bunch of random places: Goodwills, thrift stores, family heirlooms, what have you. People pass these down to me. Very few of these did I go out and acquire myself for a specific reason. A lot of these are just randomly given to me, and the randomness is what makes it amazing. What we're going to do is I'm going to flip a spinner 3 times on my phone. The third number I pick is from left to right. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 until I find that, up to 135. Remember, third generation is one we're going to do. 1, 2, 3. 42. Record number 42 is the very first one we're going to do, and let's get to counting. I'll see you up there. Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 41, 42. Record number 42 is Eric Carmen. Let's get a little detailed view about that, okay? Switch to camera 3.
This self-titled album is Eric Carmen's first solo album and was released in 1975. Carmen was previously a member of the Raspberries, a rock and roll band who were among the chief exponents of the early 70s power pop style. Carmen was the lead singer of the group and wrote or co-wrote all the hit songs. In 1975, after the breakup of the Raspberries, he started his solo career, de-emphasizing harder rock elements in favor of soft rock and power ballads. For those who have never heard him sing before, I would compare his sound to Paul McCartney and the Beach Boys. The album has a great set of songs. They ride a line between familiar and standout, and I mean that in an entirely good way. I had it play in the background while I worked, and the songs blended together and really enjoyed every bit of it. Some standout songs for me were Sunrise, which sounds very much like a Paul McCartney jam. Never Gonna Fall in Love Again, good ballad for those with a broken heart. All By Myself, which is that all by my... You've all heard it, we've all heard it. And On Broadway, which is a cover of the 1963 Drifters song. You know, On Broadway, you know that one. And with that said, the coolest thing I think is that he started in Cleveland. That's where I'm from, so he's cool in my book.
All right, that's Eric Carmen for you. Very interesting learn. I'll throw that on the turntable there to kind of listen through myself. Very cool. Let's throw it back in the collection, and I will see you. I'll see you right over there, actually. Welcome to the second segment of the show. What we're going to do now is we're going to pick a video game to play, one of the old ones from yesteryear. Now, the word of the day is randomness, because we're going to spin these 2 wheels a total of 3 times to pick what game we're going to play. The first wheel, you'll see Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis on it. And there's also a little sliver for Nintendo. The reason it's small is because I'm not opting to play those, but if it falls on that, guess what we're going to play? Now the second wheel is A through Z, and then the inside is 1 through 26, because of the letters and all that. And we're going to spin it 2 times. Once to find the category, then once we find that letter, say it's Sega Genesis letter S, then we'll spin it again to find out what number, and that is which one of the S's we're going to play. If there's only 4 S's, which I know there's more, then we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. Good to go. Without further ado, let's spin our wheel. Wheel number 1. Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis. Wheel number 2. What letter in Sega Genesis? This one loves to spin. Look at it go. That's an A. Sega Genesis, A. Which one of the A? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Sega Genesis, find the A's, go to the 15th game listed in the A's, and play that game, alright? You will see me on the back end to play, but you'll hear me throughout, okay? So let's check out what game it's going to be. Let's go. Meet you at the TV.
Well, the beauty of randomness is that you may end up with a horrible game, and this was just that. Admittedly, I'm not a sports games guy. I enjoy some baseball games, and I do like some of the Mario sports games, including Mario Tennis for N64, which is a great title, actually. Now, Andre Agassi's Tennis for Sega Genesis is anything but a good game, however. But before we get into a review of it, let's learn about the game that I had to force myself to play for an hour. GameFAQs gives a great description. Andre Agassi's explosive forehand is yours. Be Agassi or play against Agassi. For the first time ever, win big cash with the skins match, where stakes double with every return. With 4 courts, 8 exciting players, each with different playing styles, and an umpire who calls every shot, Andre Agassi's tennis cannot be beaten. Andre Agassi's Tennis is a tennis video game that was released in 1992 on the Sega Genesis and 94 on the Super Nintendo. There are 3 modes you can play in the game: Practice, Tournament, and Skins Tournament. Practice is where the players can learn their technique. You're at one end of the court and a ball machine shoots balls at you while you try to volley them back. Tournament mode, where you play as singles or doubles, and you play endlessly against opponents, and Skins Tournament, where you're awarded money for each hit, with varying amounts of money depending on different criteria like acing a shot or winning a long volley, etc. After I ran through practice mode for a few minutes, I spent the bulk of my time in tournament mode, mostly because I couldn't master the technique enough. The game description boasted of 4 courts, 8 exciting players with different playing styles, but to me it just seemed like each player had a different color scheme. The court variety is pretty cool. Okay, now that we've talked about the game, this is the part where I give my opinion on it and then sum it up in a range from 0 to 100. First, even though I did have a big sports game bias, I tried my best to approach this game with an open mind, and honestly, I was not a big fan. Let's start with negatives. There's no way to quit back to the main menu once you start a tournament, so it's either restart the system or complete the tournament. Okay, now the one round I lost produced a screen that rated my speed and serve and backhand and all that, but didn't award me any money. And the round that I did win just skipped past that winning screen and went straight to the next tournament, so I didn't get a sense of accomplishment. I assume I earned money, but there's no way of telling because I couldn't really access any menus or anything. So the whole thing's a huge time investment. Like if you were set the game to start over, do you lose your money? All these questions. Another negative was its lack of music. And by that I mean you hear ball bounce, and then the horrible robotic announcer calls out the score, and that's it. I know tennis is notoriously a quiet sport, but come on, something.
15 all.
Well, that's it for the negatives. Not too many positives. I get what tennis games are, but this seemed like it was just the same thing over and over again. Not my cup of tea, not what I was looking for. I did mention earlier that there was a Super Nintendo version, so if we randomly get chosen to play that game, we will not be playing it because we've played it here. Thank God. And now for my rating out of 100 possible points. Now, since this is the first episode, I really don't have a standard, so I'll give it a 62. Though it wasn't exactly a game up my alley, the graphics were nice and it was fairly responsive to control, and it does have some level of replayability, even if I don't intend to. There you have it.
Now, for those who know me, know that I love movies because they encompass all that is art. Your visuals, your music, your acting, everything. So I'm going to give you a recommendation of one of the films that I find to be the greatest there is. Today's selection is a movie from 1998 called Wide Awake. Wide Awake is the very first movie from director M. Night Shyamalan. It doesn't exactly follow the equation of the rest of his, but there is an amazing ending to it.
The movie follows a 5th grade boy named Joshua as he begins a personal search about life and death, a journey triggered by the passing of his beloved grandfather. Joshua attends a Catholic boys' school, and the adults in his world have not been able to convince him that his grandfather is in good hands. So he sets out on a personal mission to find God. Josh shows doubts about his religion as he questions if God truly exists, and the ending leads him to find his answer in an unexpected way. The film has a great cast, as Dennis Leary plays his father, Robert Loggia plays his grandfather, it's got a young Julie Stiles in it, and, wait for it, Rosie O'Donnell even plays a baseball-loving nun. Now, if you're looking for an easy watch that's both lighthearted and profound, check out Wide Awake. And looks like at the time of the recording this, it's for rent for like $3 on Amazon Prime and YouTube. Now, some trivia for you real quick. Although the movie was released in 1998, it was made in 1995 off of a script that M. Night Shyamalan finished in 1991. Also, M. Night Shyamalan has described Wide Awake as a comedy that he hopes would make people cry. And spoiler alert, it made this man cry.
Alright guys, that's the show. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. Click here for another episode. Click here for a skit or sketch, some kind of scripted production. And click here for a random video that I think is good for you. And we'll see you next time. Did you click one yet? You click one? You don't see him? You must be watching on a weird browser or something. Need of a haircut. Not a beard trim though. Alright, later days.